Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, class. It depends on whatever time you watch or see and view this recorded lecture, our recorded lecture for today. So I am Jerry Werbana. You can call me Kuya Jerry or you can call me Sir Jerry for short. And I hope you are okay. I hope you're fine away from COVID-19 and other um, accidents ba karon or the pandemic in general. I hope you're doing good and I hope that you are on a positive vibe as you watch this video. So to continue, yesterday, the last meeting rather, we were able to talk about the uh, I was able to discuss to you, a review discussion about development communication and some of its attributes. This meeting, where we will talk about multimedia in general, I'm going to introduce to you what multimedia is and its specifics. So before I start, let me share screen my presentation for today. Ayan. Introduction and basic concepts of multimedia. Again, this is Jerry Luis L. Urbana, your instructor, Development Communication Department, Institute of Agriculture and Related Sciences, Davao del Sur State College. After this recorded lecture, feel free to comment your suggestions, your clarifications, your questions in the comment section in wherever um, multimedia platform I'm going to use for the in whichever multimedia platform ang atong gamiton sa pag-upload ani nga recorded lecture. So to continue, what is multimedia? What is multimedia? Multimedia class is the using of one or more medium of expression and communication. It is the field concerned with the computer-controlled integration of text, graphics, drawings, still and moving images like video, animation, audio, and any other media where every type of information can be represented, stored, transmitted, and processed digitally. Diba? Mga brochures, kanang atong mga videos, asa man na sila gina post process, asa man na sila gina edit. Of course, we have applications for that. And we have lots and lots of applications for that. Some examples are Adobe Premiere, Final Cut for those who are using um, Apple products, iMovie, and etc. etc. Many others. Multimedia involves the combination of text, graphics, and sound, animation, and video that is delivered interactively to the user by electronic or digitally manipulated means. Tanan na output or um, multimedia outputs are digitally manipulated and are delivered electronic or virtually. Multimedia is a media that uses multiple forms of information content and information processing, which we will be discussing in the next succeeding slides. What are the 5 basic elements or types of multimedia? To continue, the first basic element, pinaka-basic and pinaka-basic na type of multimedia is of course text. What is this text all about, Sir Jerry? Text is a broad term for something that contains words to express something. I think it's elementary for us to understand what text is. Kini mismo nasa PowerPoint presentation, this is a very good example of what text is all about or what text is or what text means and looks like. Text is the most basic element of multimedia. Bisan unsa na multimedia material, bisan unsa na development communication material, bisan unsa na online material nga inyong makita, it always contains text in one way or another. Text is a good choice of words that could help convey the intended messages to the users. Without text, dili nimo mahibal-an, di ba? Usahay kung unsa ang pasabot sa video, di ba? Without text, dili nimo mahibal-an unsa ilang advocacy campaign all about. And without text, dili nimo mahibal-an kinsa ang nag-produce, dili nimo mahibal-an kinsa ang group behind the multimedia material. And text used in contents, it is used in contents, menus, navigational buttons, di ba? Sa mga atong bus terminals, mga directions, naman gid na always text. It always has text in it, di ba? Sa atong mga menus, sa restaurants, cafes, di ba? Sa atong mga ginakaunan sa malls, naagyo text per me, di ba? Na yung mga signs, shop signages and signs, naagyo na yung text per me. Text involves use of text types, sizes, colors, background color, and etc. Text has a lot of kanang samples of text types and sizes and colors. For example, my favorite text na akong ginagamit ay do graphic design man good. Basic graphic design from time to time. If na ako time no, extra time aside from my undertakings in law school and in the local government, I also lay out. Yes, my favorite font is my go-to font rather. It's not necessarily my favorite font. My go-to font is Avenir. I always use Avenir when I have and when I had to upload my Facebook stories or I had to lay out something. At the same time, I also use Nexa family fonts in thinking of Betty family fonts for our businesses, our family businesses. I don't know about you. You can comment down below your favorite fonts as well, favorite font sizes na ginagamit ninyo. For those who do basic graphic designs in my class. Text class is an important component used in many multimedia applications. They are characters that are used to create words, to create sentences, and paragraphs at the same time. Text alone provide just one source of information, yet text is good at providing basic information. No? Text conveys information to the audience, to your chosen community. For example, it tells stories and it describes things, interprets graphics and charts, inform people about an event, or tells something about a person. And time and again, we always say no, and we always uh, tell our students that text, ladies and gentlemen, is the most basic multimedia element. Next. The next multimedia element that you're going to learn in my class is graphics. What is this graphics all about, Sir Jerry? Graphics is a two-dimensional figure or illustration. It is a digital representation of a non-text information and could be produced manually or by computer graphics technology. And at the same time, it is used in multimedia to show more clearly what a particular information is all about. When you say manually, when you say that graphics is produced manually, we mean that it can be drawn, it can be painted, it can be carved, diba? It doesn't necessarily mean na layout lang tanan, diba? Layout lang graphic layout lang tanan online and virtual. Pwede sab siya i-draw. Pwede mo siya i-drawing, no? Pwede mo siya i-carve as long as it represents the text and the message that you want to convey to your audience. Again, in contrary to text, graphics is a digital representation of a non-text information. Examples are diagrams, photos, graphs, and etc. Diba? Once you pitch your project or once you join a business pitching competitions makaron or when you present your thesis to your panel, you usually include graphics or you usually include graphs, photos, and diagrams for you to be able to um, relate to them and to relay the information, relay that message that you want to convey to your audience. Next element of multimedia, basic element of multimedia is, but before I proceed, graphics, sabi nga nila, di ba, when we use graphics, yun, it means 1,000 words. Picture alone means 1,000 words. Usahay dili nimo necessarily i-put into words ang gusto nimo i-convey. It doesn't necessarily mean na imuhang isulat ang gusto nimo ipaabot sa imong audience. All you have to do is to present a graphic, a digital representation of a non-text information. Example of graphics kini, photos, diba? Unsa may message na gida-convey ning photo sa bird, diba? Of course naa, diba? From a photographer's perspective and for an audience perspective, naa gyud na. Graphics, kini mga charts, CEO, kining organizational chart, production, marketing, sales, etc. And kining photo na heart, diba? Of course, automatically, makita sa viewers, okay, love, automatically, love month, automatically, okay, uyab-uyab, diba? Next, the next basic element of multimedia is what we call audio or sound. Audio or sound is produced by vibration. It is perceived by the sense of hearing. And examples are music, speech, or any other sound. Inyong madungog ninyo sa ako karon, sound ni sa lecture, and it is a basic element of a multimedia material because what I'm doing right now is recorded lecture is also considered a multimedia material. Diba? I produce it digitally and it is being watched by my audience, who happen to be my students, you guys, and it produce what? It produce audio, it produce sound. For you to be able to hear my recorded lecture, for you to be able to learn something from my recorded lecture. In multimedia, audio could come in the form of speech, in the form of sound effects, and also music scores. In the movies, for example, diba? Ano yung ginatanaw ng mga movies, naman yung mga background music na atay sound team assigned for that. In fact, na atay sound director sa ato ang mga films and movies. Kanang sa ato ang commercials, TV commercials for example, na atay mga background music produced by several artists, etc. etc. Sa atong teleseries, di ba? Atay ginatawag na OST or official soundtrack. Diba? Audio sound is a very basic element. It's elementary for us to know that audio and sound is part and will always be an element to multimedia. Next class, video. When we say video, it is the technology of capturing, recording, processing, transmitting, and reconstructing movie pictures. Video is more towards photorealistic images or image sequence, live recordings as in comparison to animations. And compared to the previous element, video takes a lot of storage space depending on the file size used. Diba? Kini akong ginabuhat karon, although this is not a live recording, this is not a live lecture, this is a recorded lecture, but it takes a lot of storage space. Diba? That's why I'm asking for your patience sa permi when I upload my lecture from time to time. Lisod gid kaayo class. Labi na naata sa province, diba? Naata sa province, and we know for a fact na hinay kaayo ang atong internet signal. Usahay, I had to upload mga midnight para lang mapaspasan ang pag-upload sa akong lecture. And I am thankful that you, as much as I understand everyone, you also choose to understand me as your professor. Rest assured that I'm doing everything I can to deliver the quality of education that you guys deserve, that you'll be able to apply in the future as development communication practitioners. So much for that. Videos are photographic images that are played back at speeds 15 to 30 frames a second and provide the appearance of full motion. What are the example of videos? Of course, movies, diba? TV commercials. There's actually a lot of examples of videos kina akong ginabuhat karon, recorded lecture, and it takes a lot of kanang storage space and depending on the file size of use. Usually ang akong lecture naga-take 15 to 30 minutes, but ako na lang yung ginapaningkamutan na mamubo for me to be able to upload the video completely directly in our Facebook group. Okay, I know and I understand that most of you here don't have access to stable internet connection, and I'm trying and finding ways from time to time. I'm flexible naman enough to adjust to everyone. So you don't have to worry about it. Next is animations. Compared to video, what is this animation surgery? Animations class is the illusion of motion created by the consecutive display of images of static elements. In multimedia, animation is used to further enhance and enrich the experience of user to further understand the information conveyed to them. And it is the process of designing, it is the process of drawing, making layouts, and preparation of photographic sequences. Who among you here have seen animations online, animations virtually? Who among you here have seen animations? Usually animations animation in general is very famous in Japan. They have a lot of animators there, who work and create lots and lots of anime. If you're an otaku, I know you're familiar with it. And just to share, my favorite anime is at the for the meantime, that I'm binge watching from time to time, are Attack on Titan, Haikyuu, diba? Yung pinaka-favorite ko, Death Note, yeah, and a lot more. So much for that. I hope that you're also exploring, lots of animations available online. Let's utilize the resources that we have at the moment, since we are restricted in four corners of our own home. Let's explore, the resources available online, and the resources made available for us by the college and by our school. Next, so those are the basic elements of multimedia: video, audio, sound, graphics, text. Yeah, five basic elements: text, graphics, audio, sound, video, and animations. To proceed, let's now discuss about the several usages and importance of multimedia. So, what are those? I am sure there are a lot, but I'm going to discuss to you the most relevant ones. Next, importance of multimedia. Why is multimedia important? Why is this subject important? Why is multimedia writing important? It is important because multimedia is being used in a lot, and I'm not joking when I say a lot, in a lot of sectors, in a lot of businesses, in a lot of institutions, and etc. etc. Some of which are in advertisement, in education, di ba? Kini, atong ginamuhat karon, this is a multimedia material. Entertainment, TV, commercial, and movies, mga nasa Netflix, those are multimedia materials. Engineering, di ba? I believe I was able to discuss these usages of multimedia during my first lecture the other week. Medicine, home, and public spaces. So there are a number of fields where multimedia can be used in our everyday lives. Multimedia finds its application in various areas, including but not limited to the following that I have mentioned below: education, education sector, in DSSC, for example, multimedia is being used as a source of information. Students can search encyclopedias such as Encarta, which provide facts on a variety of different topics using multimedia presentations. So I'm sure you're familiar with Encarta. Diba? Katong elementary ko, I usually use Encarta. Diba? Grade school ko, I usually use Encarta. Gadula, in the interactive games, at the same time, you gain something from the application. Next, like what I said, yes, in education, multimedia can be used as a source of information. And programs which show pictures and text while children are reading a story can help them learn to read, help the students learn to read. These two are a form of multimedia presentation. In fact, what I'm doing right now can be considered a multimedia presentation or a multimedia material. Teachers can use multimedia presentation to make lessons interesting by using animations or to highlight or demonstrate key points. This is actually a very good example. What I'm doing right now is a good example of a multimedia application usage in education sector. Though wala man ako siya gina-edit, wala na ako siya ginabut ng animation, no, because I don't have the luxury of time, and I believe it's not needed anymore because you are all college students. You are expected to get used, no, with uh, boring topics. But of course, I'm doing my part as your professor to make this lecture be more interacting as much as possible. And yes, a multimedia presentation can also make it easier for students to read text rather than trying to read a teacher's writing on the board. Diba? Usually, pag nagatanaw ta online, mas engaging on our part no pag na ay may mga graphics, may mga naglupad-lupad all around our screens rather than mga mere text lang. So, but my apologies, we don't have the luxury of time to really edit a grand and at the same time a competent PowerPoint presentation. But I hope that in my lecture you're able to gain something, you're able to learn something, because that's what I mean. That's the most important part. Next, multimedia class is used for advertising and selling products on the internet. And multimedia is used for people who use the internet. Nakita niyo last meeting, nagpakita ko sa inyo that we spearheaded this non-government organization called Support Local Pinas. We created support local groups in Santa Cruz, in Tagum, in Davao City, Panabo, Samal, etc., in other neighboring municipalities and cities for business owners to sell their products, since marami sa mga kababayan natin ang nawala ng trabaho. So we felt the need to help, to extend our hand to those who are struggling during that time. So marami sa ating mga fellow Santa Cruzans, fellow Tagomeños, fellow Davaoeños, who were able to gain profit and free advertising using those support local groups. Multimedia is used for people who use the internet. Tanan nasa internet, most of them are multimedia materials. People use the internet for lots of reasons, wide range of reasons actually, including shopping, di ba? Shopee, Lazada, sa may naga ano diri monthly shopping sa Lazada and sa Shopee, and ang atong babayaran kaya ato ba yung mga parents, di ba? And finding about their hobbies. The internet class has many multimedia elements embedded in web pages, and web browsers support a variety of multimedia formats. Just like what I have said earlier, tanan na sa internet, most of them are multimedia materials. So I think for today's lecture, that's it. And I hope that you were able to learn something from our lecture for today. And if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have suggestions, clarifications, etc., feel free to comment in the comment section sa YouTube karon, sa itong YouTube channel nga akong gi-send sa inyo or sa FB group kung asa man ni mas dali ma-upload atong video. And I will be uploading an activity for this Thursday. First Thursday is our laboratory class. It's intended for activities. It's intended for quizzes, projects. But don't worry, no pressure. I understand for those who have submitted their outputs late. But please don't be complacent about it, because as much as I understand, you also have to do your part, as students and students under my class and students under DSSC in general. So if you have questions, clarifications, please direct all of them to your Bidel, Jason, or comment down below. I will give extra points for those who will comment their insights, their questions in the comment section. And hopefully by next meeting or by next week, we'll be able to conduct a live lecture. Hoping lang, but in consideration of those who have no access to stable internet connection, I believe and I guess magpadayon ta aning recorded lecture, and I hope you're okay with that. Once again, maraming salamat class. Thank you so much for understanding. Thank you for your patience, and salamat sa wala pag Thank you for not giving up. I know you are all struggling. I know na daghan kayong mga panghitabo sa inyong mga balay. And I know nga isud usay mag-focus sa klase. But take heart na tanan inyong mga kahago, tanan inyong mga kahago karon mabayaran lang na tanan once graduate na mo. And you will be able to give back to your parents and to give back to the community that you commit to serve in the future. Kato lang, thank you class once again and happy Tuesday, happy learning, and stay safe. Daghang salamat.